Miami had one win last season. It was at home against Baltimore, so you would think revenge for the Ravens. Except now you've got bulletin board material. Hey, how are you folks? Jason Horowitz, CBS Sports' Charley Casserly. Glad to be with you on the NFL previews presented by Comcast. Charley, what did Ravens head coach John Harbaugh say this weekend that may get those folks in Miami fired up a little bit?
Well, he was trying to compliment his offensive coordinator, Cam Cameron, who was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins last year, winning one game. Something to the effect, I think Cam did a great job with what he had to work with.
That's never good.
I don't disagree with him. However, what he had to work with comprises about half that team. And Bonnie Holiday, for one, of the Miami Dolphins, takes it personal. This is bulletin board material, he said. Hey, you know, the little things like that, they may not seem to be big. Hey, they're big. All of a sudden, Tony Sparano has one less thing he has to have in his bag of tricks to get this team motivated.
Well, you know, he doesn't have to get them motivated to play offense because they've been innovative, they've been creative. They've used the Wildcat formation, and it's worked. Take a look at the offensive numbers the last 3 games since they started that Wildcat formation against New England. It's a totally different team than the first 2 games, Charlie, but can it continue to work?
Well, no, I think the Wildcat slows down. I think last week against Houston, they may have gotten to maybe their last trick in that bag because they had a reverse with Chad Pennington throwing a touchdown pass to a wide open receiver. You know, eventually they're going to run out of tricks and gimmicks there. Baltimore, I think what Baltimore is going to do, they're going to blitz this thing. They blitz everything anyway, okay? But that's one of the things. When you move over an offensive lineman and you line it up, the advantage is you catch them by surprise. The disadvantage, you don't get a chance to practice against everything. Watch the blitz to be effective against the Wildcat formation.
But Baltimore's defense was exposed last week by Indianapolis, Charlie. So when you look at the fact that the numbers coming into last week for Baltimore's defense were outstanding, less than 200 yards a game. But last week, yes, it was Peyton Manning, but they didn't look very good. What happened?
Well, I think that 2 things happened here. Chris McAllister had probably the worst game of his career. He was beaten a number of times during the course of the game, and they found Corey Ivy, who was their nickelback, Baltimore's nickelback. So what the Colts were able to do is concentrate on those 2 players and be effective against them. Now, this is not Peyton Manning. This is not the receivers that Miami has to work with. So Miami is not nearly as effective a receiver. Chad Pennington's not going to be Peyton Manning. So I don't look for the passing game to be quite as effective this week as it was against Baltimore last week.
Meanwhile, for Baltimore's offense here, you've got a game and a quarterback in Joe Flacco, you know, is going through the motions. He's going through everything, and he's taking it all in his rookie season. It hasn't been as bad as a lot of people thought. It hasn't been spectacular like Matt Ryan in Atlanta, but he needs the running game. How important is Willis McGahee this week? Well,
he's important, even though he hasn't had much production, and we're going to see the graphic on him, only 3.2 a carry. But Baltimore's offense begins with the run, and it almost ends with the run for the most part, okay? But they want to run the ball, even go run first down, second down, come up 3rd and short, take the pressure off the young quarterback. That's what they're going to want to do. And in this game, that's what they want to do in every game. The problem is Miami's strength is their run defense. So I think what's going to happen at the end of the day, Baltimore is going to try to run it a lot. I don't think they're going to have great success. But the key for them is if they can get in 3rd and shorts, take the pressure off Joe Flacco, they have a chance.
In this game, in that matchup, what is the one matchup you're looking for in that part of the football game?
Well, you got Porter, the outside linebacker from the Miami Dolphins. You know, really has had a surprising year this year. He's not a big speed guy anymore, but he plays with a high motor. He plays intense. He plays with quickness. He's taken advantage of some young tackles in some mismatches with his experience. Now, Gaither, left tackle from the Ravens, again, first-year starter. Porter's going to have an advantage in this game. So that's the matchup I'm going to watch. Does Baltimore try to take Porter out of the game because he's their only rusher, which would be the smart thing to do, or do they let him go one-on-one and see how Gaither does? I'd watch that matchup.
Both teams 2-3. Who gets the 3-3?
I like Miami in this game because I think with Baltimore, the key for them to win this game is in every game this year, they've got to force turnovers. If they force turnovers and score on defense, that's their chance to win. What are the percentages that happen? Not very good week in and week out. So I would look for Miami to play a very good defensive game, force Joe Flacco to throw, take away the big play, and then offensively, I think they'll have enough balance to be able to score in the game, but I think it's going to be a very close game. I don't think Miami's going to put up the points they've been putting up recently.
All right, we'll see how that plays out. 1 o'clock on CBS, and for more on this game or any other in Week 7. Be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. Watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. For Charley Casserly, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.